Welcome back to Kieran's Reading Corner, your cosy escape into magical tales and warm pages. I'm Kieran, and today we're diving into a book I recently finished called Wild East. After that, I'll share some perfect summer reads to keep you company, whether you're beachside, backyard bound or anywhere in between. And finally, I'll tell you about a few of my all-time favourite books, stories that have left a lasting mark on me. So get comfy, grab your favourite drink and let's get started. It's time for our first new segment, Book of the Week. Book of the Week. Book of the Week. Book of the Week. Today I want to talk about a book I highly recommend for young adults, Wild East by Ashley Hickson Lawrence. This is a YA verse novel that blends literary fiction with poetry and music. It follows a boy named Ronnie who moves from East London to East Anglia and Norwich and faces difficult transitions, starting a new school just before his mock exams, navigating grief, violence and finding his voice. This book deals with tough topics like county lines, knife crime, grief and racism, so definitely check the trigger warnings before diving in. I discovered Wild East through the Parrot Street Book Club, a wonderful small business offering book subscriptions for kids and teens. I'm part of the McCaw subscription, and this was my pick for August 2024. The book officially was published on May 2nd, 2024, and I was drawn to it because of its unique poetic format and its focus on an aspiring rapper. Ashley Hickson Lawrence has written 2 adult novels, but this is his first YA novel, and I hope it's not his last. The characters are vivid and diverse. Lay, Ronnie's friend, explores gender identity and being non-binary. Lana and Mahur bring in the theme of the refugee experience. And Ronnie himself faces knife crime and racial tension head-on through his character. One of my favourite parts, well, it was the writer's retreat chapter. It offered a quiet, reflective contrast to Ronnie's usual world, and I loved how it helped him open up. And the romance subplot, it was sweet and heartfelt, especially when Ronnie wrote a love poem after parting with Lana. That scene stuck with me. This book made me feel everything: joy, grief, empathy. It made me think about how young people deal with pain, identity and healing through creativity. If you're ready for an emotional and powerful read, I truly recommend Wild East. That's Wild East, a powerful and poetic read I won't forget. It's an easy 4.5-star book for me, and one I think will really resonate with other young adults too. And now it's your turn to read that book. Since this was our book of the week, now you can get that book. I'll link it in the description and you can read it and then put your reviews in the comments or on my community tab. Now, let's step into the sunshine with Sunlit Stories, making its very first appearance on the podcast. This segment is all about my favourite summer recommendations, books perfect for warm days, cool drinks and dreamy escapes. My first recommendation is Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. This magical fantasy follows a hotel that changes location every day. When Janie and her sister discover that Hotel Magnifique has arrived in town, they sneak inside, only to uncover the secrets and mysteries hidden within its enchanted walls. It's a beautiful YA fantasy that pulled me in completely. For me, it's a solid 5-star read, one I loved so much that I might even reread it this summer. Another great series to start or continue during the summer is the Disney Twisted Tales series. There are 24 books and counting, and I've only read one so far, but I'm hooked already. The one I read was Straight Until Morning by Liz Braswell. It explores the question, what if Wendy had gone to Neverland with Captain Hook instead of Peter Pan? I found this book really intriguing. It's over 450 pages, so it's a bit of a chunky read, but if you enjoy fantasy retellings or anything with a magical twist, I think you'll love it, and it was an easy 5-star read. This summer I'm planning to read Part of Your World, which asks, what if Ariel had never defeated Ursula? I'm so excited to dive in. The final summer recommendation for today's Sunlit Stories is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. I've read the first 4 volumes and I'm so ready to dive into the next 2. Volume 5 is already out and we're all eagerly waiting for Volume 6. The story of Nick and Charlie beautifully shows just how important LGBTQ+ relationships are, and it really resonates with so many people. Volumes 1 through 4 are perfect summer reads. They're bright, heartwarming and quick, taking about 30 minutes each to read. I gave these volumes a full 5 stars because they generally bring joy and excitement to my day. If you're looking for something light but meaningful this summer, I can't recommend Heartstopper enough. For the final segment of this week's podcast, I want to share 5 of my all-time favourite books and series, stories that have really stuck with me and made me fall in love with reading even more. First up is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, the full trilogy. These books were my very first thrillers, so I feel really connected to them. They completely pulled me in and I love trying to solve the mysteries along the way. I'm hoping to reread the whole series during the spooky season. A definite 5-star trilogy for me. Next is Sapphire's War by Hibanur Khan. This book follows a brave girl named Sapphire as she finds the courage to enter the catacombs of Paris to help lead Jewish families to safety during World War II. It's a powerful historical fiction novel that made me realise how much I enjoy stories set during wartime. Another solid 5-star read. Another favourite is Code Name Bananas by David Walliams. This one's about a boy named Eric who helps rescue a gorilla named Gertrude from the London Zoo during World War II. I found it hilarious, heartwarming and full of adventure. Most importantly, it's the book that got me back into reading in a big way, and now I own all of David Walliams' books. This one's a 5-star read, and honestly, I give it 6 stars if I could. One more favourite is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This book is full of fantasy, mythology and adventure, and it was actually recommended to me by one of my best friends. I'm currently reading book 3 in the series, and I highly recommend it, especially as a great summer read. Another easy 5-star rating. And finally, Space Boy by David Walliams. This was the 3rd David Walliams book I ever read, and I loved it just as much. It's about a girl who finds a UFO crash in her grandma's garden during the space race, and coming out of that UFO is Space Boy. It's full of twists, humour and imagination. A fantastic story that kept me hooked from start to finish. Those are just a few of my all-time favourites. Books that made me laugh, cry and fall deeper into the world of reading. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode of Kieran's Reading Corner. We explored the powerful and poetic Wild East, soaked up the sunshine with a few of my favourite summer reads in Sunlit Stories, and wrapped things up with 5 books and series that hold a special place in my heart. I hope today's episode gave you some inspiration for your own TBR pile. whether you're reading by the beach, in the park, or curled up in your favourite reading spot. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you enjoyed today's chat, I'd love it if you left a quick rating or shared it with a fellow book lover. Until next time, take care, stay cosy, and keep reading.